An unusual invention is the focus of this case, condom keychains. The plaintiff says she couldn't resist an offer to help the defendant start this new business. Now, though, she's suing because she said he broke their agreement. The judge is hearing testimony. Let's listen.
Mr. Dixon, the defendant, came to my place of employment in February and solicited money from his sister, one other co-worker, and myself to purchase materials needed to fill an order for his product, which are these tubular-shaped containers that carry condoms on a key ring. He offered to pay a rate of 300% return on whatever amounts were loaned by any one of us that he spoke to.
300%?
300%, Your Honor. He established the rate himself. He also established the due date. I have an agreement here that he signed. He also wrote in the due date.
Let me see that.
On the agreement he signed, he agreed to pay me $1,200 in 3 weeks in return for the $400 in cash that I handed over to him.
Okay, let me make an observation right now before you go on. I contacted a friend of mine, a very fine judge in Reno, Nevada. This is a Nevada case, by the way. Nevada does not have a usury statute. In this state, in New York, this loan would be illegal because 300% return is, well, astronomical. But anyway, Nevada has no usury statute law, so you can agree to anything you want to agree on, as long as it's not unconscionable. All right, so he agreed to pay you back 300%.
Yes, Your Honor.
On your form. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. After about a week or so went by, and I had contacted the defendant numerous times, he was unable to give me the money, he said, because he was having problems. Things were not falling together.
Okay, let me ask one question. Mr. Dixon, I assume that you, do you affirm, show this to Mr. Dixon, do you affirm that that's your signature?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
You agreed to pay this, borrow $400 basically, and pay back $1,200 in a time certain?
Yes, I did.
That's 300% interest?
At 300% interest.
Gosh, you could have bought it from any place else for a lot less than that. I mean, I'm going to get back to you, Ms. Felder, in just a minute, but why would you agree to pay 300% to anybody?
Well, the product I have out is called the Body Bag for Life. I flew out to Washington, D.C. for the International Family Planning and Reproduction Association. I landed over 36 contracts out there. Well, I had put the horse behind the buggy on this one because when I got back with the contracts, now I had to produce the material. Well, I needed instant cash to get raw material to produce this.
Why didn't you, for example, go to a bank and put up some collateral? 300% interest is ridiculous.
The business wasn't, I don't think it was 4 months old at the time. And I had tried the bank, and being unsuccessful, they said I need at least a 1 year's track record.
All right, Ms. Felder, you say you went to him, called him, and he didn't pay, so then what happened?
Yes, Your Honor. He told me that his car was repossessed. He was having money problems. In an attempt to settle the matter, I offered to accept partial payment of the amount that he owed me by accepting merchandise. When I spoke to him on the phone, he verbally agreed to give me 500 of them and $400 in cash to settle the matter. I understood that he would take a while to pay the $400. However, when I went to his house to pick up the key rings, he said, we're going to stick to the original agreement, which to me meant that he still intended to pay me the $1,200 total amount. I took 163 key rings home with me.
Okay, now the 163 key rings you took home, those part of them you have there?
These are part of them, Your Honor.
Okay, why'd you take those?
As I said, I was attempting to negotiate with him in an effort to settle the matter because I wanted to help him out.
But what I mean is you got those in place of monies in an attempt to resolve the matter?
In an attempt to partially resolve the matter.
How can you partially resolve it? Either you resolve it or you don't.
My understanding as I left his house was that he was turning over merchandise in lieu of $800 of the $1,200 that he owed me. However, when I spoke to him on the phone, we had agreed that he would give me 500 of these, and when I went to his house, he gave me 163.
Okay.
He said, I'm just going to give you these to help you out. I still intend to pay the full amount and stick to the original agreement.
All right, Mr. Dixon, we heard what Ms. Felder said. What's your part of this?
Well, she started off telling the truth up until the point about the time frame I had to pay the money back. The day I was supposed to pay her $1,200 back, I came up to her job and took her and my sister to McDonald's. And I explained to her, the materials that I'm purchasing is going to take me 4 weeks to receive. Now, you still have your money on the table and you can still get it, but I'm wearing all the hats. I'm doing everything I can do now, and I need help. They're both professional females, and her clerical skills, answering the phone and all that was something I needed. But they both agreed they were ready to quit their job and come work for me.
I'm a country boy, so let's cut to the quick. This lady loaned you $400.
Correct.
You agreed, and why you did beats the heck out of me, to pay her $1,200 in 3 weeks.
Right.
You didn't get it done.
No.
So you're taking the McDonald's.
And I explained my
Wait a minute. You're taking the McDonald's, big lunch, all right?
On the budget,
All right.
yeah.
And had a Big Mac.
That's right.
All right, now. And you said, look, I can't pay you what I owe you, but the possibilities of making a good money is out there. You come to work for me. No.
They initiated come and work for me. They love the product. When I talked to her at McDonald's, she agreed to come over to my house to be trained on how to make these. When I brought her over to my house, I gave her 200 of these units right here, completely made. I gave her another 300 raw material, which looked like this. Miss Felder, please don't go there.
How many items did you take away from the meeting that you all had at McDonald's?
163, Your Honor. I took 61 completed
Hold on,
items
just a minute.
and 50 unassembled
just a minute.
items.
One at a time, please. Go ahead, ma'am. How many did you
I
take?
took 61 completed items and 51 assembled items.
Your Honor, I
Okay,
helped.
okay, Mr. Dixon.
Yes.
Okay, how many items did this lady take away from the meeting?
I gave her 200 completed units, complete units made up. I gave her a cutting, her and her daughter, I had to help her and her daughter carry this stuff out to their car.
We'll take a brief recess and I'll give you my decision.
She says she gave him a loan. He says that's true, but when he couldn't pay it back, they renegotiated. The judge is sorting this out. Let's listen.
One person we haven't heard from, and I want to hear from this lady, Ms. Elena Prince, before I make my decision. And Ms. Prince, what do you have to tell me about this case from your own knowledge, ma'am?
Well, Your Honor, I'm James Dixon's fiance, and I was at the house at the time when Ms. Felder and her daughter came, and I came into the office, and that's where I seen James counting out the 200 body bags that he gave her.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Prince. Mr. Dixon, I understand from Madam Bailiff and that you have something for me.
Well, I took the liberty to make something that you can see my product in all its splendor.
Let's get it on. Is trademarked, but I'll give you a temporary license. Matter of fact, I have trademarked that. These are condom.
Pop the top, Your Honor.
Pop the top.
Now,
No,
pop
the top.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the little condoms in here.
Yes. There's 3 condoms. They're watertight, airtight, and it goes in your key ring. You're constantly safe wherever you go. That's our whole concept.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have 2 boys. I call my boys my darling sons, but I'm 61 years old. I don't need any more children, I'll tell you that, so I might have a lot of need for these. Not with anybody except my wife. Madam Bailiff, you quit laughing. These for me, right?
Yes, they are.
Thank you very much. Will not influence my decision at all. Matter of fact, it might take me a long time to use all of these. All right, so this is my decision. First, an observation. Any time you think that day in and day out you can make that kind of return on your money, you're just kidding yourself, because you can't. And any time you see something like that out there, you better take a long, hard look at it. So what I find happened was this, what is known in law as a novation. That is, we had an agreement, and that the agreement was A. But we got together and we changed the agreement by mutual consent to B. And that's called a novation. In my view, there is no more loan. There's now a business relationship, and whether it's good or bad will depend upon the future. This case is dismissed.
A lesson to be learned here about making a loan. If you want your money back, stick to your guns. This case, dismissed.